Hey, you sexy people out there, go ahead and listen to this.
As we look forward to the coming years, we plan for all of our major franchises to be operating at scale and capitalizing on opportunities that include robust ongoing live operations and regular content launches, both large and small, strong mobile experiences available for all of their communities to enjoy, new engagement and monetization models, and underpinning all our franchises will be our deep relationships with growing and vibrant communities which are increasingly direct and digital.
Does that sound like Activision is going to shape up? So I just got done listening to the Activision earnings call for Q4 of 2018, and I've got to say, just right away, I don't think they've learned any important lessons, unfortunately. So as most of us know, Activision is in a tough pickle right now in the video game industry. Their stock price has declined heavily since the last 6 months. The goodwill from their communities is at an all-time low. And also, the sales, the performance, and the player retention of many of their games are at rock bottom. It's a strange world that we live in when big AAA companies like Activision and EA are basically trying to tread water, desperately hanging on to some semblance of life in the industry. In the past, we've looked at Activision as one of those companies that truly does care about the industry, but somewhere along the lines, maybe some new leadership or maybe changes in economics in our industry, things have changed a little bit. For the most part, I consider most of it a side effect of the increased competition of the industry and the free-to-play model, which has forced many big companies out there to focus on mobile games, live services, and avenues that don't traditionally mesh with the needs and wants of serious gamers out there. So what's happened alongside the increased monetization in their games is that people just have kind of taken a cold shoulder to Activision, and as a result, their stock price, goodwill, and all the above have gone down. You would imagine that given the intense backlash from the entire community at this point, that Activision would take a cold, hard look at themselves in the mirror and ask themselves a simple question: how do we rebound from this as an organization? In my eyes and many others who make content on YouTube, it's a pretty simple question to answer. You simply make good video games based off the demographic that you have built as a company. You believe in your franchises and you put trust in the fact that people will play those games if you deliver quality experiences. Many of the communities for some of their popular titles, including Call of Duty, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, Hearthstone, etc., perhaps no longer believe in those products. So they may leave, look for new games and experiences, and maybe just kind of shun some of the support for Activision as a whole. Once they do that, Activision's bottom line, though, goes down because so much of that organization is driven by monetization and in-game stores. Once those revenue streams kind of start drying up, companies start to panic, and that's no exception for Activision. It's a slippery slope because as more and more people start leaving those titles, less and less marginal income comes in at the same time. They affect each other and there's some huge correlation there. This all started a long time ago, but now everyone really knows about it because it's now public information. Because Activision Blizzard is a publicly traded company, there's no hiding anymore. Player bases are down, retention is down, satisfaction is down, and revenue is down as well. So in the wake of this entire bed of information, what does Activision actually plan to do about it? Well, we know that today because the earnings call report just came in and I actually listened to it myself, and I gotta say I'm quite disappointed because I truly believe now that Activision has no idea how to actually fix their corporation. After listening to the entire call, one statement really stands out to me, and I'll go ahead and play it for you guys right now.
Ongoing live operations, strong mobile experiences, new engagement and monetization models, and underpinning all our franchises will be our deep relationships with growing and vibrant communities.
This statement was made by one of the execs at Activision Blizzard, and as you guys can clearly see, they still have no idea what gamers truly want. The echoes of those three key points are so disappointing: live gaming services, mobile games, and monetization. For a long time, we've had this suspicion that Activision Blizzard was heading in this direction. Two companies that came together, Activision now trying to control the entire corporation by focusing on stuff that's going to generate a lot of revenue and making them a popular company in the stock market, not necessarily providing good games for loyal fans out there. Live gaming services are something of a guilty pleasure in the industry. They're so tempting and so popular that companies out there think that they absolutely must make most of their video games tied to some sort of live gaming services. The entire AAA market has been converted to long-term revenue growth. aka games as a service. No longer can you just buy a video game for $60 and get everything on day one. That's simply not how it works anymore. Companies think this is not a good way to make a living. And I can almost understand that argument because live gaming services is a lot easier than simply putting all your chips in one basket on a game like God of War, hoping that you'll get a huge amount of sales on just day one. So from this simple statement, we can assume that many of Activision's games in the future will most certainly not be one-time purchase deals. You'll get some sort of live gaming service thing attached to the side of it. That means sometimes you might not get all the content on day one. The second thing this guy stressed during this earnings call was, of course, mobile gaming. Now, mobile gaming is a very tender subject when you talk about Activision Blizzard because, well, Diablo Immortal. Should it be a mobile game? Should they just have gone direct to Diablo 4? What's going to happen with Candy Crush? What about some of the implementations for their future games going mobile? Who the hell really knows? The impact of stressing so much development time for mobile games means that you have to pull people away from games that would have otherwise been made for other platforms. So it's not just them pursuing the mobile market, they're actually taking resources away from other opportunities to instead make mobile games. Lastly, they stress monetization. Now this is the big ticket item. Companies absolutely love their monetization, from in-game stores, little tiny things you can buy inside the game, boosters, subscription services, pre-order bonuses, early access. It's all monetization meant for the sole purpose of just generating more money. Some of this stuff is a big hassle for gamers, especially when it's tied to progression via in-game stores or, in worst cases, loot boxes. By putting a loot box in a game or a booster or some sort of in-game store, you inadvertently skew the way the game is made. Or at least you can. Behind closed doors, we really don't know how much of the game has been altered, so that we are tempted to visit those in-game stores, tempted to open those shiny loot boxes, tempted to maybe get that booster to maybe make the game a little bit less grindy. That kind of stuff really adds up over time. The danger is always going to be there for games to get tinkered with by putting these systems in our games. So essentially, here we have Activision basically being bent over the toilet, getting a big spanking from the industry for the last 6 months. And what did they have to say about it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing new. This is the exact same trajectory they were on last year. And the ironic part is, they seem totally oblivious to it. Deep relationships with growing and vibrant communities? That's a bunch of horse manure. Activision's game communities are in decline. People are unhappy. They want change. And this is the change that we get. More live gaming services, more mobile games, and more monetization. I mean, come the F on. The industry wants Activision and Blizzard to go back to what they do best, which is provide high-quality games that are in tune with the expectations of their player bases. Fix retail World of Warcraft, bring Classic back to the way it used to be. Drop all the pursuits for additional monetization, just make good games. Bring them to the market on day one, and I guarantee you everyone will buy them. Call me crazy, but I think a fantastically designed game at a fair price point will always supersede a personal grudge of a gamer. Yeah, okay, you messed up. Your stock price is heading down the toilet. Player bases are unhappy, and your retention is at an all-time low. But that doesn't mean you can't rebound from the situation. But you're a lot less likely to get there if you continue to act like an almighty, greedy corporation sitting on top of a mountain somewhere. Gamers, let me know what you guys think about Activision Blizzard down below in the comment section. Do you think they could get themselves out of the hole that they have dug themselves into? Only time will tell. Have a great day, guys, and thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys in our next video.